What's going on, everybody? It is Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm excited to have you guys here. Grok 3 is here. For those of you who don't know, Grok 3 is one of the most powerful AIs on the planet, if not the most powerful. And it got released a few days ago, and I have been playing around with it. I am a huge AI fan, and so I've just been asking it a ton of questions and going through it. And I really wanted to put it to the test. I did a video yesterday on XRP and what Grok thought about it, and today I'm going to do it on Bitcoin because I'm super curious what Grok thinks about Bitcoin, and coming at it from a neutral standpoint, I guess. No bias. I just wanted to ask it, what do you think? Do your best research on Bitcoin, come up with a hypothesis of the likelihood of these things happening, and then give a conservative, bullish, and very bullish prediction for 2025, 2029, and 2033. I wanted to see where Grok thinks Bitcoin can go at each of those time frames, so that gives us about 8 years to work with here for these predictions. A couple more bull cycles, hopefully, a couple more halvings. So we are going to see what Grok has to say. I use the deep search and I use the normal Grok just to see how those two would compare and see if the prices would be similar, if they wouldn't, the in-depth research that it would do for each of them. And so I'll show you guys both of those options so you can see what each one looks like, so that way if you're playing around with Grok, you will be able to know what you're getting with each of them as well and have that idea of which one you want to use. So with that, let's look right into the price charts a second. So we have Bitcoin at around 95,000, down 3% on the day. Not a great day for crypto overall, but that's not the point of this video. We're here to talk about Grok. So right before we get into that though, if you guys could, please like the video. Please subscribe. If you subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And then comment below what you're drinking. I'm drinking a Celsius right now, and then also some water, trying to stay hydrated. So give me your thoughts below. Comment what you're drinking, if you are drinking anything. And let's take a look at what Grok has to say. So, yeah, Grok, number one on the charts for AI, just past ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and DeepSeek. So it's pretty amazing, you guys. If you haven't seen it, I would check it out if I were you guys. And the amount of things it can do is just pretty remarkable. Grok 3 just crushed every AI model and reasoning test. Key features tested, built the Flappy Bird game in minutes, cloned websites with one screenshot, creates 100% human passing content, deep research faster than ChatGPT. We're going to do some deep research on Bitcoin here in a second, in superior image gen quality. And then Grok 3, just to give you guys a little more background on what Grok can do. No coding, no stress, just tell xAI's newest model what you want and it spits out a playable game. One user built a full asteroid-style shooter by simply describing it in plain English. Grok handled everything, HTML, game logic, even score tracking in billions. Copy, paste, drop in a few images and sound files, and boom, instant browser game. AI isn't just writing code, it's making coding optional. So Grok can do so many different things. It's so powerful, and with all of that being the case, I was like, okay, well, let's see what it thinks about Bitcoin. Let's see what it thinks about cryptocurrency, and let's put it to the test, ask it these questions coming from a non-biased standpoint, and see what it says. And the results were pretty significant in my opinion. So stick through to the end. Like I said, I'm going to go over the deep search and the regular Grok, and that way you can kind of see both. So first, the deep search one. Hi there. Please research Bitcoin to your fullest capability. Look into historical trends, its use cases, utility, how it may get implemented, blah, blah, blah. And then based on those odds, come up with a conservative, bullish, and very bullish price prediction for Bitcoin by the end of 2025, 2029, and 2033, and the likelihood of those prices happening. So the deep search took about 1 minute and 3 seconds, went through 65 sources and 65 web pages, and took a lot of time compiling all this research to form these opinions. And so here's the information it gave. Price predictions, key points, price predictions. So price predictions, end of 2025, conservative, 100,000. That would be kind of disappointing because we're right around $100,000 now. But if you would have told me A couple of years ago, we'd be at 100,000. I would be pretty excited and I'd take it, but not the information I was hoping for. Bullish scenario, 150,000, 50% likelihood. So starting to like that a little more. Very bullish, 200,000, 20% likelihood, end of 2025. So 50% likelihood, it's saying it gets to 150. I think a lot of Bitcoin people would take that at the end of this year. I think a lot of people are hoping it would go higher, and I think a lot of people do think it will go higher. But Grok says end of 2025, bullish 150,000, 50%. Give your comments below if you agree with that, if you think that's low, if you think that's high. I'd love to hear from you guys. End of 2029. Conservative 300,000, bullish 500,000, very bullish 700,000. The bullish scenario 50% likelihood 500,000. Now we're talking. Now we're getting to some numbers that I like to see. And if we hit 500,000 in the next 4 years, I would be very excited. That's for sure. And so I think Grok's quite optimistic about Bitcoin and its potential based on those predictions. Going into the end of 2033. Conservative 500,000, bullish 1 million, very bullish 2 million. Now we are seeing that 7-figure number that we always like to see when talking about Bitcoin, and Grok thinks that's 50% chance of happening in 8 years by the end of 2033. So super exciting to see that and go through all of the research it did just to show you guys how it came up with those numbers. It has a survey note, comprehensive analysis of Bitcoin's future and price predictions, and it went through everything from 2010, 2017, 21, 24, current use cases and utility, store of value, medium of exchange, remittances, investment, emerging uses. So you can see the quality of work that Grok was able to do in only a minute time. Potential use cases and implementation. Strategic reserve likelihood 60%, ETFs, it goes over banking integration, likelihood 50%, likelihood assessment and price impact for each, ETFs, banking, strategic reserves, end of 2025, and it gets just so in depth, you guys. So it's not just spitting out random numbers and price predictions. Some of you guys could still probably argue that it's random and where are they coming up with these numbers, but it went into deep research. It researched every possible thing about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency to formulate the likelihoods of these things happening, and then it put all those odds of likelihoods of them happening together to come up with these predictions. Supporting analysis, the predictions consider historical growth rates such as 61%, CAGR from 2020 to 2025, and potential future rates. And so it just came up with everything. And that is the deep search section. So if you guys do use Grok and do the deep search, this is kind of what you can expect to see, and you'll get the results depending on the how in depth your question is in about a minute. It seems like I've now done it a few times, and it's always been right around a minute to get the results when using deep search. So the price predictions reflect a comprehensive analysis of Bitcoin's potential driven by its adoption in strategic reserves, ETFs, and banking. The likelihoods are consistent across years based on the probability of market conditions aligning with each scenario. So there you have it for deep search. Give me your thoughts on each of those. Do you think that's possible? Now, normal Grok. I asked it the exact same question just to see how it would compare. This is not the deep search, and so this gave me the answer in probably 10 seconds, and that was super fast, and I was super impressed by how in-depth this was as well, and you guys will kind of see that and then be able to compare the two. So, historical trends, it starts off launched in 2009 by Satoshi, and then it goes through everything, current use cases and utility, store of value, medium of exchange, speculative asset, remittances, potential use cases, like banking integration. Banks might custody Bitcoin, offer Bitcoin-backed loans, or develop crypto services, bridging traditional finance and crypto. ETFs could expand into global markets, attracting institutional and retail capital. Decentralized finance, corporate treasuries. Companies like MicroStrategy holding 214,000 Bitcoin could inspire others to allocate cash reserves to Bitcoin. global trade, digital identity and contracts. So you guys can just see right here how it uses all this information to form these predictions, and it just does that the snap of a finger, essentially. And the price predictions for this, which you'll see in a second, are actually quite similar to the deep search. So I was quite impressed. Let's see, so it goes over the likelihood of each of those things happening to formulate that like I wanted it to. I wanted it to come up, be as accurate as possible. So I was like, okay, come up with the likelihoods of each happening. So likelihood of strategic reserve, 40 to 50, ETF, very high, ETF expansion, very high, 90%, near certain, 95% by 2029, banking involvement, high, 70%, 85% by 2029, DeFi and layer growth, corporate treasuries, global trade. You guys can see the percentages and how it's coming up with these prices. So what kind of price predictions do we have? Here, conservative, end of 2025, 120,000. Bullish, 200,000. Very bullish, 500,000. I like those predictions. I think those are a little more bullish than the deep search. I think the deep search was between 100 and 200,000, and now we got between 120 and 500,000. So kind of interesting to see how those compared. And this is saying 50%, 200,000. That kind of aligned with the deep search. So numbers are similar, and you can see even 1 million Bitcoin per Lummus's plan. So it's pulling actual news, accurate news, and it's super cool to see how accurate Grok is compared to ChatGPT. I know ChatGPT, if you guys have messed around with that with crypto, it doesn't always give you the right prices. It seems like it's pulling data from who knows when, and some of the things it talks about, it's like, okay, that was news 2 years ago, but what about today? Grok, I only had to ask it once, and it's pulling accurate information and giving these predictions. So really cool to see Grok being more accurate and giving this in-depth analysis. End of 2029, conservative 250,000, bullish 600,000, very bullish 1 million. 25% it reaches a million, it says. 45% it reaches 600,000, 65% it reaches 250,000 by 2029. I will take any of those prices with those odds. The risk reward there seems like quite the deal for Bitcoin. And you can see the rationale it gives for each. Just super cool to see. And then end of 2033, we got conservative 400,000, bullish 1 million, very bullish 2 million. Bullish 40% it reaches $1 million by the end of 2033. That's the 7-digit number we all like to see. I would take 40% odds, and this would be Bitcoin rivaling gold's $10 trillion market cap with widespread reserve adoption and banking integration. So you can kind of see the rationale behind these predictions and the odds of it happening. And then it gets into bearish risk, bullish drivers, and then a conclusion. And you can see by 2033, 400,000 to 1 million is plausible as Bitcoin matures, with 2 million requiring a seismic financial shift. So give me your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Bitcoin can reach these prices? Do you agree with Grok? Have you messed around with Grok yet? Have you tried asking it any questions yourself? Have you built any games or built any websites using Grok? It is so powerful and exciting to play around with. So give me your thoughts below. I was super interested to see Bitcoin and the prices that it would say it could get to, and I think they kind of align with each other, and I thought it was super accurate with the information it pulled. So I'm going to be curious to see how these price predictions hold up over time and if they end up being accurate. I like Grok, and I think you guys will as well. Thanks again.